meeting of the April 24th regular village council meeting come to order. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, want to take the roll?
Shaw.
Here.
Clark.
Here.
Cronin.
Here.
Thank you.
Delkey.
Here.
Sleds.
Here.
Taylor.
Here.
Okay, approval of the agenda. I do have a change to the agenda. We're going to appoint the pro tem, but we're not going to do any commissioner assignments.
So we're dropping new business A?
Oh,
No.
No, B.
We're going to do the appointment of the pro tem.
Modified B.
But it's the end commissioner liaisons, we're not doing that portion.
Mr. President, I'll move the agenda be accepted as amended.
Support.
Motion by Ballard, supported by Shaw. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, under citizens' comment, I think we have some citizens that would like to comment tonight. Please stand up, state your name, you get 3 minutes. There won't be a discussion with the council on that, but they'll take that under advisement and it can be put on the agenda at a later date. What was that?
Or somebody will get back with them.
Or somebody will get back with you. Okay, so do we have a citizen that would like to speak?
Well, I'm not great at speaking in front of people, but I'll do my best.
Name, please.
My name is Amy Barzik. And
I think I have a letter from you.
this is my husband Jamie. Yeah, I sent a letter. I mailed a letter to the village council on April 1st. And in my letter, I voiced my concerns about the condition of my street, Torrey Street. We have lived here for 25 years and Torrey probably needed some fixing back then, but not, now it's in pretty horrible shape, to say the least. Like, I really noticed a big difference in our cul-de-sac, even just this year. Like, it's really hard to even avoid any of the potholes. It's so bad. And my husband's constantly out there like sweeping and picking chunks up, and we try and do our best to maintain it, but it's just getting worse and worse to do. Now, if Torrey Street gets fixed, it's going to benefit a lot more people than just Torrey Street residents. It's going to benefit all the people from the Fritz sub, because a lot of them cut through to take their kids to school. It's going to benefit them because they drive to town that way. It's really, going to benefit a lot of people because Torrey's a pretty well-used street. Now, I'm hoping that you guys are considering getting some bond money, and if you get that bond money, I sure hope that Torrey Street is #1 on your list, because it really would make us happy and it would benefit a lot of people. So I wish you would consider that. Also, a couple questions I have from a couple people here. Will you let us know, keep us updated on, Torrey Street, if it's going to be chosen to be updated? Will you keep us updated? Or, my phone number was on the original list, so I'd like to, just kind of have some updates on that. And then also, are we talking a couple years? I'd like to know like more of a time frame, because a lot of people here thought that it was going to get repaired next year. So I didn't know that personally, but that's what they were thinking, and so that's probably why a lot of people haven't complained more, because they thought it was going to be taken care of. So pretty much that's all I really have to say. Am I really the only person allowed to speak about Torrey Street, or
No.
other people can talk? Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you did fine, Amy.
Yeah, you did fine, you don't have any problem. Do anybody else like to comment?
Hi, my name's Lori Parise, and Amy's my neighbor, and she was nice enough to kind of send a letter to all of us along Torrey Street, and I'd just like to reiterate what she's saying. I came home from work today, turned down Kroll Street, turned left onto my street, Torrey Street. There was a car coming at me. We both cannot we both cannot pass each other on Torrey Street because it is so bad. So that person kind of slowed down to a crawl. I hugged the right, which was filled with potholes, so then I had to stop. And then that person proceeded, we waved at each other, and then I could proceed to go 30 feet to get to my house. So traffic does not flow down our street at all anymore. It's terrible. You cannot keep the same rate of speed from the time you leave your driveway to get to the intersection of Fulton and Torrey because the potholes are so bad. You just have to slow down. You have to go around. You have to hug the shoulder, whatever you can do to make it to the intersection. So yeah, I agree. I think there's other people here from Torrey as well, and we're not the only street in town, but this is a street that we live on. So we're very concerned, and we'd like to know that you're concerned as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else like to speak? Okay, well,
Dave, I will add though that Amy, I have had the discussion so she knows where we're at, what the status is and where we're going with it in the near future, and the rating system that we got with it.
So you will get back with them?
I have actually already, but I'll address the whole group at one
Okay,
time.
all right.
Also, I've got an update when I do my water commissioner report about the infrastructure activity that we've been working on here, so. If
Okay.
you want to stay around for that.
okay. So, we have a presentation.
Was there anybody else?
Oh,
that
I'm
wasn't-
so sorry.
That wasn't Torrey Street?
But-
Okay,
Okay,
all right.
okay.
Lot of people.
Then moving on. We have a presentation here, and Mr. Urick, would you come up here?
Sure.
And Michelle's going to read you this certificate.
I should make him.
There you go.
Come on up, Jeff.
Better.
For the people that don't know, this is Jeff Urick. He was our state rep for 6 years, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Did a lot of things for our community. He is no longer the state rep, but that is only because your terms ran out, correct? Yeah, okay, he termed out. So the Village of Armada is very appreciative for what you've done for us and the representation that you've given Northern Macomb County, especially at the state level. So, with that being said, we prepared a resolution of the Village Council honoring Jeffrey Urick for 6 years of distinguished and dedicated public service in the Michigan House of Representatives. In December 2022, Jeffrey Urick completed his third and final 2-year term as a state representative for the 33rd House District in the state of Michigan, which encompasses the Village of Armada. Representative Urick's 6-year tenure in the Michigan House of Representatives was notable for his consistent and passionate advocacy on behalf of the businesses and residents of the 33rd House District. Representative Urick made his constituents the priority, and he stayed connected with those he served through listening tours and frequent visits to local government meetings, which is true because he's been here several times. The Village of Armada benefited by Representative Urick's approach when he sponsored legislation that directly impacted the efficacy of the Armada Police Department's salvage title program. This is just one of the many examples of Representative Urick's strong support for public safety and protecting the health of first responders. Aside from these tangible results, Rep. Urick's service will be remembered for his common sense approach to good governance. Representative Urick's focus on results over politics made him an effective legislator. For all those reasons, it is fitting and proper to recognize Rep. Urick for his public service. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Village Council of the Village of Armada, Macomb County, Michigan honors Jeffrey Urick for 6 years of distinguished and dedicated public service to the Village of Armada and its state representative and its state representative for the 33rd District of the Michigan House of Representatives. This resolution was unanimously adopted at a regular meeting of the Village Council convened on the 24th day of April 2023. In witness thereof, I have set my official signature this 24th day of April 2023, signed by David Conan, Village President. So we thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've been on the council over 30 years, and we have never had a rep like this who attended as many meetings, who has come out here as much, who has become a friend of us, and more important, he's become a friend of Armada.
Yeah, good representative. Yeah, thank you.
Can I comment?
You may, of course.
Kid, elected official, kid, absolute kid. I want to say thank you very much. This is kind of unique. Usually I'm out somewhere in the district handing an award to someone else, so I appreciate being recognized for the service. I would say, I think you said it also, I won't repeat it. I appreciate you seeing what I did over those 6 years. I am blessed, if people don't know, Representative Jamie Green was elected to serve this north end parts of Macomb County, and I have the honor, she asked me to continue service and be her legislative director. So I'm also here in official capacity. So if the board, if the council has any concerns that they would like to share with me, they can continue to share, as I am here as her legislative director. So I will be available to constituents and to the council. If there's anything you want to bring up. I know I'm always still working, but I'm still working for the North End, Macomb County, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Jeff, I'd be remiss
If you don't get to ask it.
if we don't ask you for something. You heard that lady say about the government grants? We would like to get some.
We applied, we just.
We need them,
We get looked over.
we need a lot of work done in our community.
Yeah.
Well,
We need to fix the roads.
Torrey Street.
so since you're raising it, I'm going to answer. Unfortunately, the leadership in Lansing has changed, and right now there's been a large sums of money put towards corporate welfare. The Rep Green has voted no on, and that was something I was also against. I like to see all our additional, when I was in office, because you saw we have a bunch of extra money for various reasons. I wanted to see good infrastructure, and I really advocated that we put that money into infrastructure and paying down the state's debt, because I think paying down debt, if you have a recession potentially coming, that's the best way to prepare for that.
Absolutely.
My voice was not successful last term, unfortunately. People wanted to just kind of sock the money away, and I said, let's get ready for the storm. So this term, unfortunately, a lot of money is being focused on corporate welfare, which I said I was very against. Rep Green, I would say Rep Green and I are not the same people, but one of the reasons I really like her replacing me is because she believes in supporting local government, and it's, again, small business and that focus. And in fact, I will share with you, she actually voted no against much of the legislature to support local government on a bill where local government was getting cut out of the deal. So when you talk about revenue for local government and roads, I think she definitely carries the same banner that I do as far as supporting local.
Good.
And I'm not giving you political speak, literally, I will show you that I voted that way in the past, and she's continuing to vote to support local and to give local the resources. But she's one of 110, and I'm not sure what the priorities she has necessarily lines up with the majority thought currently in Lansing.
Yeah.
But
Hopefully she has a voice.
Yeah.
we will continue to be pushing
Fight
that.
the good fight.
So, and also the issue of Macomb County being a donor county. I know
Yeah,
that's
it
the
always has
priority,
been.
is to, in fact, and I will share with you, I have a lot of work product of being a legislator. There are actually other legislators that are currently in office who have asked for information about my work product that I'd already worked on. So I'm working with other legislators on this road funding issue and trying to help them what I learned in 6 years and try to promote that.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Jeff.
Very much, Jeff.
Okay. Now for administrative reports. Who would like to go first?
Mr. President, since Doug is here, I'd like to have him
Okay,
speak on
sounds
the
good.
sewer plant. Thank
Good
you.
evening, Mr. President, members of the council. Last month in March, maintenance-wise, it was pretty good. We didn't have any breaks, which was good. Any mechanical breaks, anything. What we did experience at the end of the month, as all of you know, is a preponderance of rain. We hit, well, as you see, the maximum flow is 400,000 gallons per day. Most of that was at half of the day. As you read down in the operations, the plant has a system on the control system that has a normal mode, but it also has two. They have a storm mode, or as I call it, the overdrive mode or the flow through, which will give you the bare amount of treatment to make a good product while doing, while treating the water at a high rate. The way this is calculated, basically the computer calculates how fast your system is rising. And that takes into account, kicks everything into overdrive. The plant did that, came through fantastically. Sampling afterwards, everything was compliant. All of our test parameters were compliant, which we were ecstatic about. That was a worst case scenario, it came through just fine. Wastewater maintenance, routine maintenance, according to the computerized system were performed. We replaced both sludge decant sump pumps. One of them may have been in February, but both of them have been replaced. They're just normal sump pumps you get for your basement or what have you. And that's how we take the clear water out of our holding tanks and pump it back to the head of the plant for treatment. And the hot water heater was 3 years old. We were getting some foul odors from it. Aaron Swift Plumbing came out, found out that the sacrificial anode was completely destroyed. Okay. So that's been replaced.
3 years?
I put 3 years, that's all. So what I did is I put a piece of label on it, replace in March of 2026 or sooner. So that, we know with the groundwater, iron content, what have you, it's may deteriorate quicker, but if we flush it monthly or weekly, it should last longer. The maintenance allowance of $15,000 for fiscal year 2022 was expended with an overage of $353.77. Becky was given that, so it was all taken care of. First of April, we started with a clean slate of $15,000. Operationally, we had a power failure on March 21st. This was the first in many, many DTE interruptions that we encountered. This was during the day. DPW responded rapidly, got me a generator out there. We had no interruption to service, no sewer backups for the 3 hours we had to. I did touch on the heavy rainstorms. And lastly, because of DTE's work, we had 5 call-outs during the end of the month due to the dialing system from the lift station calling, saying, got a power failure. I get out there 3 times. It had already been restored. 2 of them was a scheduled outage from 9 to 11 o'clock and a power interruption on a Thursday evening. Thankfully, Steve got a hold of me right away, and so by 8 o'clock everything was back on normal. Other than that, that's all we have. Steve has some other information that he'll share with you, but that's all from the wastewater side. If there's any questions? Oh, and just as an update, in December, as you recall, Mr. President, we had that flooding that occurred in our south gallery. This last week, Aaron Swift Plumbing came out and installed brand new sump pumps, a primary backup sump pump along with a battery backup. So we are back to where we were a year ago. So we have everything.
And now we're gonna be working on updating the alarm system also, that's coming. So
Right.
the phone calls go out to the proper people when we have a situation.
Now, Steve, what about the fire inspection?
Well, they did have a impromptu fire inspection.
That was
at-
impromptu?
Yeah,
It was, it literally at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
They showed up. We're here for an informal fire inspection.
That's the report you.
I had to leave in there, but I got the cliff notes from Brian Lee. They came through, they did not like, because, and this is on me, a lot of the doors in the hallway we keep open because we're carrying things in and out. We put the door stops at the bottom. That was a no-no. So I took that, they just informally, those have got to go. Understood. The garage has been there how many years, Steve? 33 years?
yeah.
33 to 35 years. All of a sudden, they decided we do not have an emergency sign by the entrance door, not the big garage door, but the entrance door. Well, when they designed that building, they put an exhaust fan, louvers, right above the door. Well, they said they were, according to what I've heard, they were ready to write us up on the spot for that. And they said, wait a minute, this has been like this, let us work on it. So we are going to be working on that. The coup de grace of the whole day was, they came in and the door, what we used to call the entrance door, which is on the side facing Larry's. We've known it's been pretty bad. It's jammed, and for whatever reason, we were holding off to the new budget year to get it fixed. The fireman decided he was gonna put his caboose against the door, try to knock it open, shattered the plate glass. And so that has just accelerated things. Steve and I have been talking, we don't see the necessity of having the huge plate glass, whereas a normal, like our other door, just a small little window. But we are going to be working with our architects down in the Farmington Hills office. He may have some contacts. Steve and I are also going over some other contingencies to get that door operational for the time being. So that's the cliff notes.
Yeah. I mean, all in all, there's not a whole lot that they
No, most of the
could have
things,
dinged us for.
most of the things you passed,
I
there's
mean, for
just
the most part,
several
some easy
items
fixes.
they want you to
Easy
improve.
fixes, exactly. Now, the one I kind of took issue with was the emergency lights. But, you know, we can move it forward or what have you. It's just, again, it was a poor design as far as the engineers looking at all the big picture of things, you know, in the past. But we will make it work.
Yeah.
Now, does that cover you, Steve?
Yep, that'll take care of things.
Well then, Doug, I
Thanks,
think you
Doug.
could be on your way if you like.
I would
Certainly,
appreciate-
you're welcome to stay. I notice it's very entertaining.
I've been up since 2:30 this morning, Mr. President. My snoring might annoy you. It's no offense to the crowd.
Hey,
Thanks,
Lyle,
thanks, Doug.
can you pass the sign-in sheet? Can everybody make sure that they sign in, please?
All right, ready?
Go ahead, Chris.
All right, so as you know, we wrap the Lathrop Street project, the remap construction is in the engineering phase now. Rowan is working on it, they'll be doing, just like we did with the current, the side work. They'll do the engineering package, we'll revisit it, I'll have to do some site meetings. Then, once that's approved, then we'll go into preparing the bid packages and specs. Work with Michelle in the office here to make sure that the contractors can get that and get their bids in, and then we'll do like last time, we'll get the sealed bids, we'll go through it, and we'll get that going here.
Good to get that going
Yeah,
pretty quick.
nice. The Lathrop Street extension, I will get I brought on the paper, because everything's paper versus electronic, so we can get the extension prepared by Jeff. He's gonna hold up, I'm not sure if he'll do a license or if he'll do an easement, but we'll work something out.
We
on
got a
that.
pretty nervous homeowner over
We
there.
did, and obviously they can see, they know what we're up against, because it's state, you know, it's all been surveyed. But I did find, as was mentioned before, it took quite a bit of time for me to find the two plats that cover all the parcels and get them all interconnected, so that we know we have what the village right of way is all the way through to the property behind, all the way to the detention pond. We've got the Howell license, so Ross, I know Steve, Nick was asking, but that license will be between us and Howell. is the property owner. And then I've got information so Jeff can have the legal descriptions and things like that so we can draft it.
Is that for the parking lot?
That's for, it's the common area
Yeah,
where we use for
yeah,
maintenance
okay.
purposes, yes. Downtown parking, so Sam and Dr. Julie and I have met. They've come up with a list of recommendations and things that on their end to do, plus a few things that we will take care of in terms of, like, for example, the repavement of the parking, the municipal lots or striping, things like that. There are proposals that are out there at least. And, signage and things like that can be done. We've got the quote now, and Ross, you saw, I think Steve saw for the salt dome in the mix. I got a quote for the street, the street light Dave was asking for at the corner of Franklin and Torrey that isn't there. One of the only ones that doesn't have one. We did get the quote from DPE on that finally, and I'll present it to council at next meeting to solicit for feedback. Through the winter, we had the last couple snow emergencies. We had some challenges with residents of knowing how to deal with the snow emergency. One of the things that came up as a recommendation was, can we use the warning system? Chief Meyer is not here, was able to get his contact from Clinton Township to send me a quote about a broadcast system, so that the cost is based on your community size. So community size, the sign up fee would be $4,000 for year one, and it's $3,800 year after. It gives you an unlimited number of broadcast messages. You can sign up every resident plus others to it, such that if there was a snow emergency, any weather emergency, election, whatever we want to broadcast can be broadcast to all those people. So even though the code of our code is that if there's if the weather forecast says there's a forecast for 3 inches or more, it is a snow emergency. There was still some confusion with residents and then on how and when to be able to get their vehicles off the street so we can take care of things. So it was something that came up. I told Chief that I appreciate him looking at it. I'd share it with council just to say, hey, if there's if we have any interest going forward on it, there may be something there. But like I said, it's a system that we can broadcast just about anything on it. I think our license would max out like 5,000 users with an unlimited number of messages. The starting point of it is they go through 500,000 messages a year. So I don't know that we would have.
What does the fire department use? Because the fire department has something like that.
It could be the part of the same, because Chief, so that's, we got it from the
From Clinton.
yeah, but they, what do you want to call it? The media, they don't call them police and fire, they call it the community service type of.
Public safety.
Public safety.
Public safety, thank you.
Okay.
So it could be, we can check and see what they're doing too, but it is interesting.
And again, this would be all through cell phones.
It could be, it doesn't have to be, it could
Okay.
be, yeah, there's other, there's a couple, obviously if it's a home phone, still those that have it can do that
Okay.
too, so. And with the number of residents, we can probably even go with more than one contact number. So, crack sealing of the bridges is coming. Michelle, thank you for sending the scour, the bridge assessment program from the state. But yeah, we have to, the last thing we have to do to get up is to get the crack sealing. So Total was the only received quote. Just as Dave found out here, really, everyone refers back to Total, so we'll see how that goes. But that is coming. That's the last thing we have to do to make the state requirements that we had on it.
So you'll bring that back?
Yes, I will bring it. Yes, I will have an agenda statement or motion statement for the next meeting.
Okay.
Good?
Good.
Okay, do we have any other reports?
Yeah.
I know you're chomping at the bit, so.
Well, I want to, this is, Amy, I'm going to bring this forward for you, so. This is regarding the 2023 update to the 2022 infrastructure capital improvement plan we did. So about a year ago, the water, sewer, street commissioners, the three of us, and the DPW superintendent started taking looking at the cost of comprehensive infrastructure improvements and how to fund them. It's always the money, right? This is based upon the recognition that the local streets, and we've got three different types of streets. We've got major, municipal, and local. Local always gets short shrift, right? pretty much.
Yeah,
I mean, you're doing
major and local.
Or major.
And the municipal fund is where the money comes to fund them all, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can tell I'm not the street commissioner. But they're not getting the attention they deserve, you know, and saw some of the notes, in a significant number of years with nothing being touched, and we understand that. So the 2022 report primarily focused on what are the funding opportunities that we had out there, just big picture, and it looked at water because I had a lot of the water stuff done. The 2023 capital improvement update really pulls in sanitary sewer, storm sewer, streets, pulls in those. And we have spent the last year taking a very close look at the infrastructure in those areas and rating that infrastructure to try to find where is the worst of the worst, as opposed to the best of the best. We've got some good stuff, but there's some areas that are really bad shape. We looked at manholes to boot, for example, so we're really taking a good comprehensive look. And I asked the vendor that was doing this to take a realistic look at funding opportunities. Not everything under the sun is going to apply to us, and as it turns out, there's not a lot that does apply to us. So it's either going to hurt a little bit or it may hurt more to do it, but we at least know, I think, what the funding opportunities are going to be. We can either do what he's doing with Lathrop Street, which is to take the money that's available to the village, put it on a street that's really in bad shape, had very poor drainage, very poor road surface, and fix that. But it taps out the money that we have, and now we don't have anything for a number of years potentially. We can look at state revolving fund that's in vogue now because it's got a lot of the ARPA dollars, American Recovery Plan Act dollars that provided by the federal government, billions of dollars. But everybody and their mother is going after that money, and you're really in better shape if you're a low-income community or overburdened community. We don't fall into that bucket. Then there's a bond. Interest rates have gone up now in the bonds, so none of these are really great. But those are probably the three areas that we can focus on. And we were supposed to have the F&V Engineering's report by the end of, when is this, April? By the end of March. Contract ran out in the end of March. So at the last meeting I said they're going to give us the mapping that we've requested for free. So that's a perk to us because they've not met their contractual deadlines. They're still behind. So I'm going to have to see if I can extract a little bit more from them, maybe some money back for the effort. But I did ask them for a summary sheet, which is what you've got in front of you, council members. And the summary sheet essentially says to do the projects where you're doing comprehensive street, road surface, water lines, sewer lines, storm sewer under the road is the right way to do it. So you dig it up only once, and you don't pay for it 3 or 4 times if you do a road and then 2 years later a water line breaks. Now you're digging up the road again. So we're trying to really do stuff in a logical, smart way. The issue that they're having now, and I think we've seen it on council, is it's tough to pin down contracting costs now. Costs are all over the map, and that's what they're having a problem with. We have submitted to them our list of priority projects, which are the really, really, really bad stuff, and then the secondary, which is the really, really bad stuff. Can't say for sure that it would happen, but all of Torrey Street is listed in the priority bucket. So then it comes down to starting to take a real close look at how do we fund this. SRF in my mind is not going to pan out. We've already put in for some grants, we've lost. We just don't stack up well against some of these other disadvantaged communities. We don't want to do the tap-out funding, which pours a bunch of money into one street, you fix nothing else. So a bond's really probably the way to go. We have to investigate that now. So what we had been saying over the last year and a half is fiscal year 24-25, and this is 23-24, fiscal year 24-25 is our first best opportunity to do something, because the water treatment plant will be paid off, so we're in a much better borrowing position, and the DDA bond is shrinking very quickly. The big money is on sewer, but we should be in a much better borrowing position. And so we're going to start, once we get this report back, I think in earnest, looking at, and it's got to be a council discussion, what do we focus on? We want to get those cost figures back, because they would say, borrow a big chunk of money, $20 million, and what do you get fixed for $20 million? And right now, what's tough, as I say, is it's tough to pin down those construction costs. And we want to know where the cut line is. We would like to get all of the priority streets, water lines, sewer lines, storm sewers, manholes. We would like to get them fixed first. And it would be great if we could move into the secondary items. Don't know. So that's kind of where we are. I'm disappointed we don't have the report yet. I would expect it's going to come in May. And then I don't know if I quite trust the cost figures, but it'll give us a much better idea than, putting our finger in the air and looking at it and seeing where the wind blows. So hopefully that gives you guys an idea, but we recognize Tory, and we sectioned it off, Fulton to church, church to Crawl to Franklin, Franklin to the court is priority fixes. So I'd say stay tuned.
Yep, stay tuned. The government, we still continue with the government, with the grants.
Yeah.
But because of the fact that we got the Main Street and the
That was
sidewalks.
kind of the road report.
Yeah.
Well, it's everything, because there's a lot of water lines, and it
Right.
just happens that
Right.
some of the water stuff is in better shape than some of the other infrastructure.
We good?
A couple more real quick. I did put in a request to Congresswoman McLean several months ago. There was an opportunity that came up for fiscal year 24 community funding projects. I put in a request to her. So this goes to the federal side, not the state side. And Congresswoman McLean's oversees and serves the 9th District, which is Huron County, Tuscola, Lapeer, Sand Lake, St. Clair, Oakland, Macomb, and that's it. That's a lot.
What did you put in?
Put in a request for money, approximately $1 million, to repair to take out lead service and galvanized service lines that we have, because that is an issue in the village. Not a significant issue, not a big issue.
No, but
Significant
nice to
issue,
get
it's
that
not a big
grant.
issue. They had an opportunity to put in a maximum of 15. They received 55 requests. We were not picked. So Richmond got picked and K-PAC got picked. So K-PAC's onto something, and we need to go talk to them about how they keep winning these grants. Anyway, we gave it a shot. We came up short. So we'll keep trying. The ARPA report is due this week. Michelle and Curtis are helping me try to navigate a very complex Treasury Department database. We received $188,000 as part of the recovery plan. We put it all to media exchange. It's all, that project is done now. It's all been dispersed, and but we got to account for it. So I hope I can figure it out, because the report's due on Friday and she's leaving next week. So, and I have to get in through her computer. And then the last thing I got is we have contracted with UIS for the variable frequency drive, well house number 7. So that's in progress, and the other one escapes me, so I'll let it go. That's it,
That's all.
that's all.
Okay, from the planning commission, I have a couple things. You can pass this around, it's the Tiger Den they proposed, and we're going to, I think it's approved already, or it's gonna be approved, they're gonna put in picnic tables,
Oh, they're outside.
outside picnic tables. Well, that was part of the planning commission meeting. And also, on May 3rd, at 7 o'clock, there's a township master plan meeting. And we're invited to go, so.
I am going to say this loudly and clearly. No more than 2 of you can go. Because if you have a quorum, it's a meeting. So it's gotta be posted. I'm not here next week. So please do not do that while I'm not here. Cause.
So when you say two, only 2 council members, or is that including our planning commissioner present? Because she was gonna go.
No, it would be,
and I was
it would be the planning commission. The planning commission cannot send more than 2.
Christie, I talked with Christie,
yeah.
she is attending.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're on the planning commission, so
Right.
you two will be attending.
Right.
So
Correct.
That's what she told me.
But you're not, I mean, if any more of council goes though, it constitutes the meeting, so do not.
Is that, I don't know, is that true? I mean, if you're not talking any business, you're in a different discussion. You're not,
You've got a supervisor that I wouldn't take the chance.
well, then
That's
I'll
me.
give you my issues. I got 8 issues I wanna talk with the township, and we need to talk to those guys, and they need to
Well, if
talk
you
to
go,
us.
that's just 2 of you
Okay.
from here, it's
I-
not a
My
quorum.
understanding is, they've asked us to this meeting, and this is why Christie's going, because they've got concerns about their master plan, and they want maybe some input from us. So,
We wanna give them some input. Yeah,
so,
okay.
but anyhow,
So two council members can go to the meeting also.
Yes.
All right, Ross, so you would be in if you wanted to go.
I mean, but you'll be attending as a resident.
Do I have to, or?
I don't know, I will get you that answer.
Yeah.
We need to be very careful.
but again, this is their meeting, it's the,
Yeah.
we need to listen to them, see what they want from us.
Right.
You know,
Right.
how we can help them with their master plan.
It's the flip side of what we did in 2003 with them.
I'd like to go, but I'm going to be on a fact-finding mission in the Caribbean.
He is not going on vacation with me, just get that clear.
Mike, that covers you?
Yep.
Everybody else good? Okay, moving on.
I think if the people from Torrey Street don't want to stay for the whole meeting, you're welcome to stay, you're welcome to leave, whatever you choose to do.
Actually, it's really nice, a lot of times we have like one person out there, so it's nice to have some citizens here.
Yeah.
I'd like to see you happier, but it's still really nice to have you here.
We're still happy.
Yeah, we're not yelling.
So,
Yeah.
moving on to our consent agenda, which includes the payment of the bills, the council or the meeting minutes from the 410 meeting, and special event application from Manmade Alliance Club, White Cane for a fundraiser. So, what do we have to say with the consent agenda?
Mr. Burns, I'll move the consent agenda, be accepted as presented.
Support.
Thank you, everybody.
Motion by
Thank
Belly,
you.
supported by Clark, to approve the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. No business, we're gonna move on to new business. At the top of our new business is the appointment for the council vacancy. We've had 2 people apply. I'd like to have you, if you could come up here a little bit. Kevin Grand, Joe Adair have applied. I know all the council knows both of you. You both have been very active. Joe was on the council for many, 20-some years. Kevin's been involved with the planning commission, been attending meetings regularly, and also on the Chamber of Commerce, aren't you, Kevin?
I'm serving on the board of the Armada Chamber of Commerce. I also serve on the board of the Armada Historical Society. I'm also active in the community. I volunteered at a number of events. Some of the events would be the Armada Sesquicentennial and also at the Armada Fair.
Okay, so, I thought if the council has any questions for the two candidates, you could ask them now. No questions? Ross, you look like you got one.
Looks like he's in pain.
I am in pain.
Fortunately, we have EMT in the audience.
If you do not get selected, would you be, either of you guys be inclined to apply, that's the wrong word, to run in the general election, which is coming up in about a year and a half? So this is to fill a vacancy, got about a year and a half of time. Would both of you guys be inclined to try again?
I see no reason why not.
You're both youngsters, so
You're my favorite guy today.
thank you. I'm glad I'm somebody's favorite.
Do we have any other questions from the council?
So you both said you'd run in 2024, is that what you said? Okay.
I said I wouldn't rule it out, no.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah, you can't say what you're gonna do when you're.
No, I know that,
Yeah,
right,
I
right.
just like that
Right.
inclination.
So, I guess if there's no questions, and if somebody would like to nominate somebody, then we'll have a vote.
Can I make a comment, I guess?
Oh, yes, you can.
Thank you. This is a tough one, because I know both of these guys. I think I know what they're capable of. Joe's got a lot of years of service. I've seen Kevin really dig in to some of the stuff that he mentioned that he was involved in. I've talked before to council about succession planning. We really got to start thinking about the future. And Dave, you've been around for 100 years. Lyle, you've been here about 150. Steve, probably about the same amount. Joe, be very happy with Joe on council. She'd do a great job. But that would be another lifer on council. I think for the appointment period, that's kind of why I asked the question, for the appointment period, I'd like to give a new person a chance. Fresh ideas, fresh perspective, opportunity to take a different look at how we do business, what could we do different, what can we do better. Other than that, I'm confident either of these guys could do an excellent job. So whoever doesn't get it, I hope you give it another shot in a year and a half. You know, the old Abe Lincoln thing, I don't know how many times he lost. And more than that, he lost in a number of different positions, but he kept coming back and eventually made president. So I would just encourage whoever does not get picked, it's not a indication that you're not worthy. We got to pick somebody, and both of you guys would be great assets to council. So whoever doesn't get it, I would say, the real meat grinder is the general election. Come on back and give it a shot. Run against me. I may not run next time around. I would love to give water to somebody else. So that's all I got.
I'm gonna be making, some changes, so if you wanna be off water, you'll let me know. Now I guess if there's no other questions from the council,
Do either of them have questions?
I think I pretty much heard all the,
Yes.
all the rhetoric that there is in council, and I mean, I would appreciate the opportunity to be on this side of the table, the voting side, so that I can have an input on some of the decisions that affect our community.
Yeah,
So,
I would
We're
say,
looking for a nomination.
I am,
I'm gonna nominate Joe Adair, for the position.
So there's a motion.
motion by
Motion
Shaw.
by Shaw.
So read the motion, please.
I nominate Joe Adair for the appointment of pro tem.
No,
No.
appointment
Sorry,
of
appointment of the
trustee.
trustee
Wait,
council.
let me read the motion and you can tell me.
Well, you've been gone, you've been on vacation.
To appoint Joe Adair to the elective office of village trustee for a term ending with the next regular village election, subject to the appointee meeting the qualifications set forth in Chapter 2 of the General Law Village Act. Is that your motion?
Amen.
Okay.
I'll support it.
Motion by Shaw, supported by Ballard. Is there any questions, comments before we vote? Take a roll call, please.
Shaw,
Yes.
Ballard,
Yes.
Sleds,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Conan,
Yes.
Belkey.
yes? Roll with the flow.
Okay.
So I will swear you in tomorrow.
Yep.
If that's okay, unless you want to do it tonight, but I have to dig everything out.
No,
Okay.
no, it's fine.
We'll do it tomorrow.
Congratulations
Alright.
to you,
Thank you.
Joe.
I
Welcome
appreciate
aboard.
your support.
And
Welcome aboard, Joe.
Kevin, we thank you for putting your name in, having the courage to do that, because we have a tough time getting people to volunteer. And we hope you continue.
Absolutely.
So,
I'll start your water training tomorrow.
So,
Run away, Kevin.
moving on to the next item.
You did read that part about what I do for a living, right? I'll take that as a no.
Who are you talking to, me?
I'm referring to you, actually.
Me? Why? I don't vote.
So I don't run away from things, I work in transportation.
Oh, you drive away from them. No.
No, I drive towards them.
So, now, the appointment of a pro tem. Well, that comes under me then, right?
Yes,
Make the appointment.
you can make the appointment, and then somebody, you can recommend, and then somebody will make the
I
motion.
would recommend allow Ballard to be the president pro tem.
So, we need somebody to make that motion. Please read the motion.
Mr. President, I resolve to appoint Lyle Ballard as President Pro Tem for the Village of Armada to a term ending November 25th, 2024.
Do I have a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Motion by Clark, supported by Shaw.
This doesn't have a roll.
No. All in favor?
What? You made the
I
motion.
made the motion.
Yeah, Clark, yeah, I had it, Clark and Shaw.
Did
Yeah.
I say Clark or
No,
Shaw?
you said Sledge.
Oh,
Okay.
motion by Clark. supported
Seconded by Shaw. Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All abstained?
Motion passes. Okay, moving on. Construction Board of Appeals.
In all honesty, I did not reach out to everybody, but any time that I do, they tell me don't bother, just put me back on. So this time I didn't do it, so if one of them comes back and said they don't want it, but it's the same three we've always had.
Yep,
so.
these are all repeats.
And I don't know the last time you met, honestly. It's
We
been,
never have.
yeah, I don't know that you have, yeah, I don't think.
And
you-
that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. So.
So would somebody like a motion, we have to make three separate motions, right?
Yeah.
Mr. President, I resolve to appoint Steve Niddle to the Construction Board of Appeals to a term ending April 22, 2023.
No, that's not right,
That's right,
224.
that's 24.
Okay.
Shoot, that date might not, well, that's okay,
24.
that's okay, 24.
Subject to the appointee meeting
You're all
the
wrong.
qualifications set forth in section 62.7 of the General Law Village Act 3 of 1895.
Support.
Motion by Ballard, support by Clark. All in favor of the motion? Aye. Motion's approved.
Those are all 2024, that's just,
Yeah.
Is it all April 22nd?
Yep,
Yeah.
it's good, yeah.
Even the,
So the ones,
even Lyle's, you got it
Yeah.
25th.
yeah,
Well, let me pull up anybody got a phone, look up 2023, tell me when the second meeting in April is.
This is moving quick.
of 2024.
2024. Please don't tell me the 19th, that'll make me look really bad.
2024 would be.
April 22 is the fourth Monday. Or, yeah,
Yeah, it is,
No,
22,
yeah, it
so Lyle's was just a typo,
yep. that'd be
another typo.
So it's 2023 then.
It's 2024.
2024, April 22nd of 2024
Okay.
is the
That
budget
day.
and a council meeting.
Yeah,
Right.
thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
Okay,
So now you just need the next
now we
one.
need the one for Robin, right?
Yep,
And I would make a motion to appoint Robin Karas to the Construction Board of Appeals to a term ending April 22, 2024, subject to the appointee meeting the qualifications set forth in Section 62.7 of the General Law Village Act, Act 3 of 1895.
Support.
Motion by Belkey, supported by Shaw. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Motion carries. And the third motion here.
I'll resolve to appoint Lyle Ballard to the Construction Board of Appeals to a term ending April 25th, 22nd, 2024, subject to the appointee meeting the qualifications set forth in Section 62.7 of the General Law Village Act, Act 3 of 1895.
Support.
Okay, motion by Clark,
Yep.
supported by Sleds. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Motion's approved.
I'll abstain.
Okay. Moving on to Water Department telemetry contract. I think
Okay.
this might be yours, Ross.
Yes, it is. All right, I usually seed counsel with this stuff before it hits, and so I'm not gonna go into a lot of detail, but let me know if you need some more. So, the telemetry system, the radio and telemetry system at the Village Waterworks is critical to the operation of the water treatment plant, the well houses, and the water tower. We need to conduct routine maintenance on this system. Doesn't happen every year, but every few years, we want to make sure the antennas are tuned, they transmit, the batteries and the radios are up to date, so on and so on and so on. We want peak performance, and it's not occurred for a while, and I'm trying to make this as a part of recurring maintenance in the water department. So we need to do this. I had asked for a quote last year. The little write-up I did references 24 June. That was an earlier quote. The actual date of the current quote is November of 22. I did confirm with UIS that quote cost of $4,985 remains good. It's probably the one thing you're gonna see this year that's not gonna change price. So that remains the same, and we did budget for it in the fiscal year 23-24 budget. So I would like to get that done. I do have some older batteries, and I wanna make sure everything's operating as well as it can. So I'm gonna make a motion to approve quote 221298R from UIS SCADA to perform Village Waterworks radio and telemetry operating checks and system maintenance at a total cost of $4,985, and allow the water commissioner to sign for the village.
Support.
Thank you. Motion by Belkey, supported by Shaw. Make the call, roll call, please.
Belkey,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Sleds,
Yes.
Conan,
Yes.
Ballard.
Yep.
Just to know, when those guys come out, they're gonna fix a couple other issues free of charge, which is good. So I appreciate your help. Thank
this is so all our wells can talk to each other, right?
This is, yeah, the water system's gotta talk, and it's amazing how it all works behind the scenes.
Okay, we have the last item here, E, is to allow the DPW supervisor to sell the old leaf back with box.
Well,
It's for sale, because
Yeah.
we got a new one.
so, Mr. President, make a motion to allow the DPW supervisor to advertise the 1997 ODB leaf machine with box for sale on Bidcore with a starting bid of $10,000.
Support.
Motion by Sled, support by Ballard. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. I think that brings us up to upcoming agenda items.
There was a lot.
Oh,
You
yeah.
guys are throwing out there.
Hopefully we get the F&B Engineering 2023 CIP update. And they're gonna come out and talk it, so it'll be a presentation when they do. I'm hoping for the next meeting.
Well, put it on there, you can always take it off if they don't, at least you'll have it on there.
Well, they're getting well past the contract expiration date, so I'm getting a little
Okay.
irritated.
Any other items for,
What did I say? Crack sealing the bridges.
Okay.
That'll be a bid.
Correct.
Is that all the bridges?
Yes. Yeah.
You'll be bringing, well, maybe you will, the parking lot. I think Dave got a bid for the parking lot, that's in the budget, so,
That's, you want me to, yeah, that's what I just got,
yeah, yeah.
for this
Yeah.
right here?
He said he couldn't get anybody else to bid on it,
That's
so
what I know.
I think we should
It's
just bring
true.
it back to the
And-
next
And who
meeting.
bids, they refer back to one source really anyway, so.
Okay, so bid for parking lot.
What do we got?
It's the review.
Where's the stuff?
23,000.
What happened? Okay, anything else?
It's okay, I think I have all your stuff in there, Chris, you just send it to
You
me.
do, I just have to make sure I pull it back out again, so I don't.
Yeah, you got it right there.
Do we have any additional citizen comments?
I heard this right here.
No citizen comments? Any council comments?
Mr. President, I've been in talks with our police chief, and apparently the state of Michigan is going to change over radio frequencies,
Yeah.
and we're gonna have to replace all of our radios. And the chief has got a ballpark figure of between $68,000 and $80,000. Yeah, I know.
Jeff?
Yeah.
Headley?
What's that?
Headley?
Yeah.
They mandate, they should pay for it.
Well, yeah, that's what I think too, but.
It's in the Constitution.
Yeah, well, they mandated, you know, you always say that, Kevin, but they mandated that we had to put that arsenic treatment plan in, and they did pay for it.
Well, like Jeff said, it's less than a 30% success rate on fighting that.
That's right.
So if you want the answer, that you don't have to use the state system. It's a choice to, you can have your own radio system, and I'm a big Headley person, so I'm
Right.
saying, you don't have to use the state system. Fire departments, EMS, and police use it because they like the interoperability.
Yeah.
But they're saying if you're gonna, and I said, I'm not familiar with this latest update,
Right,
but if you wanna use the state system, you have to keep up with the technology on the system.
exactly.
If you wanted to do your own and put up your own antenna and have your own radios, you could do that. You know,
To put that up in this village, you're gonna raise all of everybody's,
right, I just want to shoot.
yeah, right.
So we talked about, you're not mandated, from that, you're not mandated to use the state system. Police and fire, as a former firefighter,
Right.
we like it because we can talk to each
Yeah,
other.
probably,
It's a-
probably
Makes
a
it
good
easier.
idea that we use it.
Probably public safety is.
Well, as I said, this is gonna come around in about 4 years, so we've got time to work on this.
Can we use the vehicle salvage funding towards that?
I have no idea if we could or not.
Yeah, that's a good one to look into.
I mean, it's all part of, if if you're looking at the whole picture, you
Yeah,
need the
it
radios
was-
to
It's
do
part
that.
of policing the village.
But 4
I think
years
the former
away.
legislator got that expanded, so that
Thank
you could
goodness he
probably
did, yes.
use that.
Yes, 100%.
That's why we wanted to give that former legislator
Recognition,
a
certificate.
certificate,
Yeah.
yes.
But anyway, that's all I've got. Just wanna bring that up to council.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
You guys may have an update from the planning meeting for the next meeting as well, right? That'll be before the next meeting. All right, I'm gonna
Well-
put that on too.
Well, I think that just come under department reports, so I can,
Yeah,
Christie.
you know, but what I'm saying is, you can tell us about that
Right, about the
meeting.
meeting.
admin
Yeah,
reports.
in
I'll
your
put it under
department
admin.
report.
Okay.
All right.
The Ross, you planning on that too, right? Yeah. You are too loud.
I think we're mainly there to listen right now, to see what they would, how we could help. And, then we get together and discuss, you know.
Okay.
So, are there any other, council comments? Well, then, no, any community events coming up?
White cane sales.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the White King.
When is that?
You're gonna make it up.
May something. May 15th?
May
No.
19th through the 21st.
Okay, May 19th,
Through the 21st, it's that weekend.
so we'll be able to tell them, again, advertise that again, at our next meeting.
Yep.
So, being no, closed session tonight, I guess I would entertain a motion.
The time is 8:08. I move to adjourn.
Support?
Motion by Ballard, supported by Clark to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.